Let's go through a couple of really important things. First of all, no matter what your medical condition is, you should really try to limit the amount of time you spend outdoors. Now, remember, most of the air indoors comes from what's outdoors, but of course it gets filtered through, various things that keep your house intact. So that's number one. Number two is if you do have any underlying lung or heart conditions, so that includes kids with asthma, adults with what's called COPD or heart disease, you're going to be at higher risk. And so one of the most important things is to monitor your respiratory symptoms, your wheezing, your cough, your breathing. Make sure you're stocked up on your medication and, get to an emergency department or a hospital if you're having severe trouble breathing. And those masks that, hopefully people got and wore during the height of the COVID pandemic, particularly those N95 or KN95 masks, are really useful. One of the things they're really good at doing is filtering out pollutants. And the last thing I would point out is if you have the economic means to do so, indoor air purifiers can make a really big difference. I actually lived in Beijing from 2008 to 2011, and we had several of them in our homes because, to be honest, it looked a lot like it does in New York most of the time that I was there.
And Dr. Varner, that is a big statement, right? To say that the air quality in Beijing, which is atrocious, is just like what we're feeling and experiencing now in New York, speaks to how bad, I guess, climate change is becoming in all parts of the world, and you're impacted by something happening elsewhere. Speak to us about you mentioned the importance of masking. The particulates of what's drifting along the Northeast appear to be very small, and I guess that's why it's lingering and spreading so far. Speak to us about that component of this danger.
Yeah, this type of smoke has a really big mix of different types of particles, but the ones that scientists are most concerned about are actually the ones that you can't really see in the air. They're known by the name PM 2.5 because they refer to how small these particles, the size of the particles. And, those particles can, enter your airways and then go through your airways and into your blood vessels. And so there have been a lot of different studies done around the world showing that, long-term exposure to this type of air can really increase the risk of heart disease, like heart attacks and strokes. So this is a very real problem, not so much for today, but as the longer this persists here in where we are in New York or throughout the United States, the greater risk people are at. And so you make an excellent point here. This is part of the reason why climate change is a major health issue. And cities like New York are going to have to be prepared for things that, people in the West have been dealing with for quite some time. And that includes making sure people have masks, improving indoor air quality, and improving how we do fire and forest management.